Oh, God. Home from school and I'm so bored. Let's see. Electronics. Let's see what's going on in electronics. Electronics. Eric Shidley posted a new assignment. TRNS1 transistor switch. What the heck? All right, let me find out what that's about. Okay, so oh, there we go. Transistor switch due March 30th. Okay. Posted at 7:50. That's just a minute ago. Below is the simplest example of using a transistor as a switch. Build the circuit shown on a breadboard in TinkerCad. You'll need a power supply, a light bulb, an N-type BJT transistor. I don't even know what the hell that is. A 1K resistor, and a switch or push button. Make your wiring as neat as possible. Extra wires or necessarily long, I think I should say unnecessarily long wires cause circuit prototypes to behave badly. When you finish your circuit, upload a screenshot to this Google assignment. So below is the simplest circuit. Let's look at that. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah, I remember this one. It doesn't make any sense. I can light a light bulb with a 10-volt supply without using a transistor, but I guess the point is that I use a transistor to do it. All right, fine. So I'm supposed to build that in TinkerCAD. Oh, well, that's cool because I already did this thing here where it says, you know, to join the TinkerCAD, and I use the code and everything, and I joined the class for the TinkerCAD, so I'm totally cool with that. But I can't remember what the heck this transistor switch is about. I don't even know what a transistor is. But you know what? If I scroll all the way down here to the bottom, there it is. Transistor is a switch. If I click on that, I bet I can go through it and read it all again if I have to in order to figure out, oh yeah, transistors, core of modern electronics. Look at that. Different types. NPN transistor. I think that's what's meant by N-type there. Oh yeah, that's right. They're like diodes. It's like putting diodes together, and then a bunch of chemistry stuff that I didn't understand the first time I read it. And then, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I remember answering these questions. I remember these questions. That's cool. Oh, there it is. So here's the deal. A little bit of current flows to the base of the transistor here. The transistor, like a switch, turns on, lets the current flow through the lamp, and turns the light bulb on. All right. So apparently all Shidley wants me to do is to build this thing in TinkerCAD. So all I have to do is figure that out. So I made my TinkerCAD account already. And so I can just go to it. Let me see if I can sign in. I'm going to sign in with my Google account. Yeah. Because I signed in with my Google because it's school related. That makes sense. Oh, here I am. Okay, so I want to make a circuit like the one that Shidley wants me to make. Here's the thing. Anytime I go into TinkerCAD, it thinks I want to do a 3D design because making 3D designs with TinkerCAD is like the #1 thing that you do. But I want to build a circuit. So over here, I probably should click on Circuits. And I see that I've already created a circuit here. I'm just going to delete that because who needs that nonsense? Oh, okay. I can try some circuits out with TinkerCAD and just do that like it's like was like a tutorial sort of thing, showing me all the things that I can do with TinkerCAD. I'd really rather just get this stuff done and be done with it. So what I'm going to do is create a new circuit. And I'm creating a new circuit, and oh look, I've got nothing. Oh, I understand. This big area here is where I'm supposed to make my circuit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small breadboard here, because it's a small circuit after, I bet they have a large breadboard somewhere, but it's a small circuit after all. And on this circuit board, I'm going to build this thing that Shidley said that I should build. So I'm going to go to classwork, and I'm going to do the screenshot right there. There it is. Okay. Well, so I've got a breadboard, but if we were doing this at PW, the breadboards are powered. So I'm going to need some power. Do I have any power here? Instead of looking at basic, let's look at everything. I want to see all the stuff that I have that's available to me. And I scroll down, and oh, power supply. That'll do. And I'll take the power supply over here and I'll drop it right there. That's pretty cool. Power supply. Give it a name, Samantha, or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll give it a voltage. This thing needs 10 volts. I know that because if I look at the circuit there, it says 10 volts. So it's 10 volts. But now I have to hook it to the breadboard. Well, here's the red. That's the positive terminal. And I'll hook that to the positive terminal just like that. And this is the negative terminal, but the negative terminal is like the ground terminal here. So I'm going to go ahead and hook that to the ground. You know, it didn't super line up well. I'm a little ridiculous about it. I'm going to scooch it over a little bit. There it is. That's nice. Got that hooked up. So now I've got my breadboard so that everything in this row, everything that turns green, is going to be 10 volts, I guess, when I put it on. So, well, it's going to be 10 volts when I turn it on. And everything down here is going to be 0 volts. That's ground, everything down there. So that's how I'm building my circuit. All right. Well, this is going really well. So now what do I need? I'm going to need a light bulb. So let's see if they have a light bulb. I'm looking for something that looks like a light bulb. Scrolling around looking for a light bulb. Oh, light bulb. Who'd have thunk? So I'm going to take this light bulb and I'm going to plug it in to my circuit board here. I don't know where to put it. I'm going to put it kind of in the middle because I think that makes sense to start there in the middle. So there I've got a light bulb. So what? What am I going to do? Well, that light bulb is hooked to my 10 volt supply. So I'm going to take that 10 volt supply from right here and I'm going to hook it to here. And now that means everything in this line, like everything right there is 10 volts. So I'm going to go from there over to there. And now my light bulb has 10 volts. Just like it does here. Light bulb connected to 10 volts. That's awesome. But then my light bulb goes to a transistor. Where's the transistor? Got to be some transistors around here. There we go. NPN transistor, PNP transistor. Shidley said N-type. So I'm going to take the N-type transistor and I'm going to plug it in somewhere else here on my circuit board, like maybe right there. All right, that's excellent. And then what happens in my circuit? The light bulb here goes into this part of the transistor. I got to remember the names of the parts of the transistor. This part of the transistor has an arrow pointing out of it. That's probably the emitter. And I remember this one is the part that you tickle at the end with the voltage. You get the thing to turn on. That's called the base. And this is the part where the current goes in. I call that the collector. So it's collector, base, emitter. So my light bulb has to connect to the collector. So I'm just going to go like, oh, that's easy enough. Boom, right there. That's excellent. That's cool. And then the emitter goes to ground, because I see the emitter right here. That goes to the ground connection there. So let me see. Here's the emitter, CBE, collector base emitter. And so the emitter here, I'm going to jump the emitter all the way to ground, which is the negative here. Notice that's where I connected the negative of my power supply right there. Boom. So now that's connected there, but it's a whole half of the circuit that I haven't done yet, which is this part here. I need a switch. I need to go from 10 volts, the same 10 volts, and I need to go to a switch. All right, so what kind of switch am I going to use? Shadi said I could use either a switch or a push button. Where is the, oh, there's a slide switch here. I got a slide switch I can turn off and on, or a push button's cooler. I'm going to use the push button. So I'm going to go push button, and I'll put my push button right here in the middle of things, where the action is, so to speak. And what am I going to do? I have to go from my push button to a 1K resistor. So one side of my push button is hooked to 10 volts. So there it is, 10 volts. I'll hook it there, right there. So my 10 volts, which is this whole row here, goes to the button. And then the other side of the button goes to a resistor. Well, you know what? I'm going to be clever here. I'm going to take this resistor and I'm going to, well, what the heck? That's weird. The resistor only points one way. And that's strange because then this end and this end are connected together. That doesn't make any sense. What the heck? Oh, up here in the corner. Up here in the corner, I can rotate that resistor. Oh, 45 degrees. That's fun. There we go. That's cool. So I'm going to rotate the resistor there, and I'm going to put the resistor, bang, right there. And it's okay how tight that is because these aren't connected. Only these are connected this way, so it's good. So I go through the resistor, and then where am I going? I go through the resistor to the base. Drop the base. From here, I want to go to the base of the transistor. So right there, bang, there's the base. So I go from here and I go straight over to the base of the thing. I don't have to worry about these because I didn't punch into any of these holes, so these aren't connected, so that's not causing me a problem. You know, it's weird because this thing that is the one that I was assigned to build, and the way it actually looks on the breadboard, boy, they don't look the same. They don't look the same at all. But this is the reality of prototyping a thing. So have I made all of the connections that I need to make? I've got my 10 volts goes through the light bulb and then through the transistor to ground. And then I've got my switch that goes through a 1K. I have to make sure that resistor is 1K. Let me click on it. Oh, look at that. It's 1 kilo ohm by default. That's excellent. Well, I don't know, it seems to me that this switch is probably working perfectly. So all I have to do is turn it on. And over here I see Start Simulation. So I click on that. And oh, my power supply turns on. So I got 10 volts. I've got 10 volts, but 0 amps. And the light bulb doesn't light. Well, I guess we're going to push the button and see what happens. Oh! And the light bulb lights up. I get 217 milliamps out of this light bulb, which is different than I got out of the lamp that I put in the I circuit code. But that's not surprising because this light bulb that I have doesn't have as many details in it as I circuit does. So I can't determine what its maximum power rating is, what its internal resistance is, or any nonsense like that. But I push the button and the light bulb lights up. Fantastic. So I've built the circuit and it works the way that it's supposed to. So what I'm going to do on my Mac here is I'm going to Command-Shift-4 and I'm just going to select that region of thing. Bam! Screenshot. And then I'll go back to the assignment on Google Classroom, classwork, transistor as a switch, and I'm going to turn in my screenshot as my build of that particular circuit for electronics. And I'm done. This particular assignment, I have to turn this one in, but it's worth 0 points. I'm not getting any points for this one. But pretty sure Shiley's going to submit other circuits to the classwork section of Google Classroom, and I'll build those circuits as I go in TinkerCad. What a fantastically good time. Now I got to find something else to do with myself.